5. Welcome to Leadership Speak, an advanced Toastmasters Club for leadership development. We are number 5 club globally. I am Tati Mokhanso, your sergeant at arms of this meeting. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Leadership Speak is a premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. We are an advanced club focusing primarily on leadership development in everything we do. Our timer has a virtual hand raised so we can all immediately see who is keeping the time. Please raise your hand. Our Toastmaster of the day, Noorul, will lead our meeting. She is a Toastmaster. She has been a Toastmaster since 2006. She believes in pushing boundaries and accomplishing her goals and achievement by pushing her boundaries, spreading in Toastmaster leadership. Please help me welcome the Toastmaster of the day, Noorul. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Nikhita Mokhanso. Yes, Toastmasters of the Leadership Speak, the club of self-directed leaders. Welcome to today's meeting. As all of you know, the theme of the meeting today is pushing boundaries. Pushing boundaries involves stepping beyond one's comfort zones where growth, innovation, and transformation thrive. It's an intentional departure from familiarity to embrace challenges that catalyze personal development, often initiated by a desire for self-improvement or driven by aspirations. Individuals venture into uncharted territories. Athletes, for instance, consistently push their physical limits to achieve remarkable feats. Entrepreneurs take calculated risks to disrupt industries and realize novel ideas. Each step outside the comfort zone builds resilience, enhances skills, and fosters adaptability. Overcoming initial hesitations, individuals often discover hidden potential and broaden their horizons. While discomfort is inherent, it is a catalyst for ingenuity. However, pushing boundaries requires a balanced approach. Recklessness can lead to burnout. In essence, venturing beyond comfort zone is an indispensable ingredient for progress, offering the chance to redefine limits and ultimately lead to fulfilling accomplishment. How it applies to the Toastmasters. As all of you know, Toastmasters are leadership roles are volunteer leadership roles. Their members take as a volunteer. So most of the people, they are they have their goals to reach some leadership roles, and they wanted to accomplish their goals. For instance, I was pushed, I was pushed to take up the role area director when in 2008, 2009, it was area governed. However, that gave me an opportunity to push my boundaries to take up all future leadership roles up to district director. Every instant, I pushed my boundaries to take up the leadership role. And I had my dream goals, and I have pushed my boundaries to accomplish the goals and achievement. Leadership speaks again, motivate members as self-directed leaders to push their boundaries and to come up out of their comfort zones, to take up different roles which they may not familiar, but they, by taking up that role, by pushing their boundaries, they really enhance their skills in their leadership skill as well as in the personal life. So, my dear friends, let us focus on the meeting where everyone will focus on the theme and talking about the pushing boundaries. So today, to conduct the meeting as a Toastmaster of the day, I have supporting role players. The timer for today is Toastmaster Deborah Walker. I would like to invite Toastmaster Deborah to introduce your role as a timer.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. As your esteemed timer today, my role will be to time the speakers as well as the evaluators. The timing of the speeches is as listed in the agenda, and I will put the timings for the speeches and the evaluations into the chat during those portions of the meeting. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, timer Deborah. The next role player who will assist me in conducting the meeting today is the grammarian. The grammarian for today is Toastmaster Afton. Toastmaster Afton, can you explain your role and introduce the word of the day of today? Over to you, Toastmaster Afton.
Thank you very much, our Toastmaster of the day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to my fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, I have the pleasure of being your grammarian, and I will be looking for the good use of English and also ways that you can improve the English language. The word of the day today is limitless, as you see on my background. Limitless means, it's an adjective which means without limit, boundless, or without end. I encourage everyone to please use the word of the day, and I will get back to you at the end of the meeting with my report. Thank you and have a great meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Afshan. Now, the most important session for today of the Leadership Speak meeting, that is the educational presentation.
Noorul, I have to do the toast first.
Okay.
And
Yes.
just the first roll, please. Thank you.
Yes. Today, the toast will be done by our founder, Toastmaster Brahm Memone. Brahm Memone, over to you.
Thank you. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. Good morning from Canada, everyone. Today, I'm going to raise the toast to the remarkable idea of pushing boundaries. It's a concept that has shaped human history and continues to shape human history into the future. not only globally, but at Leadership Speak, as you will hear today in all the speeches and in this meeting. Pushing boundaries isn't just about stepping outside of our comfort zone. It is about redefining what's possible. It's about breaking the status quo. It's going beyond the mediocrity, the everyday humdrum of life, into something big, to dream huge, mighty dreams, to become legendary. And throughout history, people have done that. Not only in history, but at Leadership Speak, it continues to happen every day. As you can see from our Toastmaster of the day, we are pushing things beyond boundaries here, right here. If you look behind me, 16 countries are being represented in this club from around the world, 12 time zones. That is pushing boundaries. We have had explorers, inventors, innovators, pioneers push boundaries as well as at Leadership Speak. Think about, for example, the legendary Ferdinand Magellan. 200 or 300 years ago, people still believed at that time the earth was flat. It was known in ancient times it was round, but somehow they said the earth is flat and the sun goes around the earth rather than the other way around. And he embarked on a perilous journey, Ferdinand Magellan, to circumvent the planet, the earth, to prove that it was round, and going through dangerous terrain, oceans, and things that he had never encountered before. His audacity, and it needs to be audacious to be expanding and pushing boundaries to limitlessness, that indeed the earth is round and boundaries are meant to be tested, pushed beyond what we know. That's called limitlessness. What about in the science, in the world of science and technology? Well, we had Thomas Edison and Steve Jobs, who have been inventors and who changed how we communicate or how we do things, or the light bulb, right? At Leadership Speak, we are pushing the boundaries as well, whether it's pushing to new careers, learning new skills, how to speak in public, how to overcome our own internal dialogue, and our internal set limitations. When you say, the club should really be run like this and not like that, you're coming from your limitations, you'd start to expand your limitations and grow to your true potential. That's why this is called Leadership Speak. So, ladies and gentlemen, charge your glasses, raise your glasses to the spirit of pushing boundaries. May we continue to be inspired by those who have gone before us, like Ferdinand Magellan, and for those people like Ralph Smedley, who've gone before us. And that's why 99 years later, we are still over here doing Toastmastering. Cheers to daring dreams, breaking barriers, and embracing limitless possibilities that await us. Here's to pushing boundaries. I hope this resonates with you. Ladies and gentlemen, pushing boundaries.
Pushing boundaries.
Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Brahm. Thank you very much for a wonderful toast. Let us move to the next segment of the meeting. So the next segment of the meeting is educational presentation by our veteran Toastmaster, Toastmaster Hannah Smith. Toastmaster Hannah Smith, Toastmaster leadership and effective communication started when she joined Toastmaster. She had met so many Toastmasters around the globe and made an impact on her in pushing her boundaries and made her aware of the general values of the audience she meets. So her thought on today's theme, pushing limitless boundaries, is her new credo yet. Don't rush in where angels fear to tread. And for that, Hannah takes a moment to reflect and recharge, which is time well spent. And today, Hannah's topic, Hannah Smith, how I conquered my validation addiction. How I conquered my validation addiction, Toastmaster Hannah Smith.
Does the evaluator read the objective of the statement, Noorul? It's Claudette.
Yes, Claudette, you can read the
Okay.
objective.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Hannah is speaking. Hannah is speaking from the Dynamic Leadership Path, Level 2, Project 9. It's an elective. Inspire your audience. The purpose of the speech is for Hannah to practice writing and delivering a speech to inspire the audience. Hannah is also working on her vocal variety and body language. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Claudette. Yes, Toastmaster Hannah Smith. How I conquered my validation addiction. How I conquered my validation addiction, Toastmaster Hannah Smith.
That's a question. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. The devil whispered into my ear, Hannah, you're not strong enough to withstand the storm. And in addition, I was also challenged to deliver a speech on how I conquered my validation addiction, to service and become a leader, to push my boundaries. And you guessed it, I have accepted both challenges. And my answer, you'll hear at the end. Madam Toastmaster, in my early childhood years, I spent on the farm growing up there. My brother David joined me 4 years later. We had a carefree and untroubled childhood on the farm. We learned from Mother Nature what is there to learn, and especially how to treat her and respect her. David and I kept no secrets from each other. We confided in each other with whatever troubled us. Then tragedy struck. David died. My whole world fell apart. I was devastated, shattered. Who would be my soulmate, my confidant, my buddy? I withdrew and found solace in my cocoon. This self-restraint lasted throughout my school years and well into my adult career, working career. I put all my energy into athletics, especially sprinting and tennis. Sports disciplines that I could excel in without a teammate. I had to prove to myself that the only person I should be competing with is myself. I have never heard of the word team collaboration. It was impossible for me to reach out to others and request their support, their assistance. I doubted my abilities to perform well if I was not explicitly told I'm doing well. Getting that pat on the shoulder. Hannah, you are doing a great job. Congratulations. I had difficulties in making decisions on my own without someone else's input. Would you please help me? Would you please assist me? Do you think this is a good idea? When I already know it's a good idea long ago, yet I still needed that validation. Have I performed well? Do you agree with me when it was agreed to long ago? Forever seeking that affirmation, that validation on what I have done. I so badly needed. No, I wanted, I craved that pat on my shoulder. This inability to agree or challenge others because of fear of being rejected, abandoned, haunted, tormented, obsessed me, and others no end. This complacency fired me up to learn more about myself, and I became interested and started to investigate more about this self-validation. What are the causes of this addiction? One of them is jealousy or envy. Jealousy can be so destructive and become toxic, and it adds negativity and upset to the life of others. That person becomes unpleasant to everybody. Jealousy and envy also hinder personal growth, as you spend all your own valuable time looking at others' progress and their development. Yes, I was envious of the people around me achieving the results I would have liked so much to achieve myself. Attention seeking. That person needs to be the best and constantly wants to know whether he or she has met the expectations. They want to fit into society, be acknowledged. They need to be the best. Yes, I need it. I had to be the best in tennis. Hold that trophy in my hand. Be the first to break the finish line in sprinting. Addiction, making us feel disappointed or anxious when we don't receive that attention we so badly need. I was extremely disappointed when no one recognized my achievements and gave me that pat on the back. I tried to impress everyone, but failed miserably. Bullying, and any abuse in childhood can also lead to approval-seeking behaviors in adulthood. Fortunately, I'm thankful that I did not fall prey to this abuse. Chasing validation is draining and exhausting. It can cause mental stress. Another one is loneliness. Being self-isolated in their cocoon, like I was in my cocoon. A good example of that is folding your arms across your chest or on your middle. This is typically a sign of defensive attitude, showing discomfort, uneasiness. Most of all, it creates a physical barrier and shows a negative, restrained attitude. Yes, I was forever folding my arms in front of my chest or in front of my body. This self-validation and attention-seeking has eventually definitely affected me. I realize that it blocks all me from reaching my full potential. I have to embrace the power of learning, unlearning, and relearning before I can achieve the results I am looking for. Ladies and gentlemen, we are all human. We need that crave, that love, that support, that feeling valued. We need that human connection and interaction. I realized this could degenerate into the storm, and I had to put a stop to it. Stop and stop. Hannah, stop. How do I achieve this learning and relearning? Be true to yourself. Focus on your good qualities. Understand that failure is not the end. Do not be afraid to fail. When you quit, obviously, then you fail. Embrace failure as a necessary step to the journey of success. Be brutally honest with yourself. Keep track of and continue to monitor your progress you are making. Set yourself attainable goals. Yes, I can. Take small steps, yet don't lose sight of those goals. Watch that light at the end of the tunnel that will guide you. Persevere and you will succeed. Relax. Wind down. Focus on your good qualities, your passion, your hobbies, your interests. Surround yourself with support, with people who believe in you and encourage you when you are feeling discouraged. Be patient with yourself. If changes do not happen overnight. This is all well said and done, all good advice. And I realized my life is my responsibility. Yet, what can I do? What should I do? Hannah, find help. Find a mentor. And here is where Jessica stepped into my life. I met Jessica and we became good friends. She, my mentor and confidant. Hannah, you are an approval seeker, always looking for compliments, looking for that extra validation. Believe in yourself and magic will happen. Trust your instincts. Learn from your mistakes. Don't lament over them. Stop this nonsense that you aren't good enough. Yes, Hannah, validation is not a bad thing in your life. It can be affirming and positive. Yet, it becomes problematic when it controls your life. Hannah, start thriving. Have better control over your emotions. Seek fulfillment, not validation. Empower yourself. Work hard in silence and let the success make that noise. She started mentoring me. Yet, I still had my doubts. Will I be strong enough to withstand the storm, as the devil chanted? Can I push my boundaries, as my challenger skepticized? Jessica inspired me, fired me up. With her enthusiasm and passion, I became committed. I joined night school classes to further my studies in bookkeeping and in public relations. I found employment as a personal assistant in a large steel manufacturing company. I gained vast experience in remote customer care service when I joined a company as a tele-sales agent. I joined the Ocholas and organized automobile outings for them, which they thoroughly enjoyed. I volunteered to become a marshal and took the challenge to be the chief marshal for off-road racing, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I found fulfillment and empower myself not to seek any validation anymore. I learn something new every day. I believe in myself and I trust my instincts. I have bust my cocoon. I have started to fly. I am pushing boundaries. Jessica also introduced me to Toastmasters. Here I improved on my leadership and communication skills and have progressed well. Coaching a struggling team or a struggling club to achieve their distinguished status restored, confirmed my confidence that I can be a leader. As VPM of my home club, I onboarded members, resulting in me earning second place at the District 74 convention in Johannesburg. Yet, I realized I needed to get better myself, reach for the top. Through connecting and collaborating with my team members of my home club, I completed and have achieved my TTM project. Holding roles on the executive boosted my self-esteem. This opened doors for me and Asif 2 seasons as area director, one in 74 and one in District 86. Serving as the SAA Sergeant at Arms of Vice President membership on the Toastmasters executives of clubs globally encouraged me and strengthened my confidence to raise the bar. This helped me to be self-aware of myself. Being the current VPM Vice President Mentorship of Leadership Suite, I proud myself to connect with the members. These are all occasions where I dare not seek self-validation. I have proved to myself that I have overcome this weakness. I am confident and extremely proud of myself that I have shifted my addiction for validation, service, and become a leader. I am now constantly going that extra mile and am unwavering that it empowers me and my Toastmaster members to break that comfort zone. And I quote, when you cross the comfort zone, you will enter into the zone of leadership. Ahmed Ray said that. I repeat, when you cross your comfort zone, you will enter the zone of leadership. Jessica's mentoring and assistance has encouraged me to take my leadership to the next level. Standing on her shoulders has assisted me to achieve my goal in overcoming my addiction. Thank you very much, Jessica. Thank you. At times, but actually occasionally, I still do fall prey to the desire of some external validation. Strong women are not born. They are made by the storms they walk through. And today, whisper into the devil's ear, I have withstood the storm. And to my challenger, I have pushed my boundaries. Madam Toastmaster.
Wow. Believe in yourself. Magic will happen. The word of the Hannah's mentor, how it changed her attitude, how she pushed her boundaries to go out of her comfort zone. What a wonderful presentation, Hannah. A big round of applause to you. With that, we will move on to the other speaking slots. And I just wanted to make your note, there will be two changes. The first one is the first speaker's Baron Ochola's speech will be moved as a fifth speech, as his evaluator will be late to the meeting. The second speaker was Kenneth Kujara. Unfortunately, he is not coming. So Toastmaster Brahm Memone will be replacing Kenneth today with his speech. So now the speech of Toastmaster Brahm. His evaluator will be Mohmad Azimuddin. So I would like to invite Mohmad Azimuddin to read the objective of Brahm's speech. Toastmaster Azimuddin.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. This is the opportunity to evaluate the speech of Brahm Memone, and the Brahm Memone is going to speak on the difficulties of keynote speakers. So let's have the message from him, and then I will evaluate on his way of communicating the audience with a great message. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Azimuddin. Today, Toastmaster Brahm will speak on leadership development level 1, evaluation and feedback. As all of you know, Brahm is the godfather or founder of the Leadership Speak, and he is one person who always pushed boundaries to seek limitless goals to achieve task which is limitless to anyone. Toastmaster Brahm, Ultimate Global Keynote Challenge. Ultimate Global Keynote Challenge, Toastmaster Brahm Memone.
On February the 4th, 2024, put that in your calendar. Put that in your calendar, February the 4th, 2024, because something is happening. The Ultimate Global Keynote Challenge. What is the Ultimate Global Keynote Challenge? It's my high performance leadership project, the next one. But before I go and tell you about the Ultimate Global Keynote Challenge, last year, as you all know, or most of you know, in 2022, when I was doing my DTM project for Pathways DTM, I decided to create the Global Leadership Impact Summit, and we had 1,000 people on July the 23rd in the meeting. And every year we've continued with this large project once a year. But in between these large, big projects that happen, either it was my DTM project and then my HPL project. We do smaller projects. We don't know. This could be a big project. It could turn out to be, there'll be 1,000 people. I have no idea. But on February the 24th, the Ultimate Global Keynote Challenge is happening. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. What is the Ultimate Global Keynote Challenge? Well, we have so many issues globally, but I'm mostly focused on technology, economics, and cultural issues, because it's at the crossroads of technology, economics, and cultural. That's where humanity can unleash their potential. What are the issues facing us currently? Well, artificial intelligence and technology is the hottest issue currently being talked about everywhere. Who doesn't know what ChatGPT is, right? What about the ripple effects of economics and how economics, the model of economics is creating climate change? And do we need to change economics? Or what are the local economic challenges that you have? because of whatever is happening globally. The urgent call of climate change, again, very much an issue. The issue of evolving landscape of education. How are we being educated? If we are being educated the way we are, and yet this climate change and crisis in economics and technology, is our education really serving us? The implications of population growth. By 2050 will be more than 10 billion people before it starts to taper down. Are we equipped to feed and clothe and have dignity and humanity, honor and equity for 10 billion people? We don't have it now. How will we have it then? These are the issues that have faced us, the shadows of pandemic, the mental health issues. These are some of the subjects you can come and speak about at the Ultimate Global Keynote Challenge. So there's a lot of things you can come and speak about. And let me tell you the mechanics of the Ultimate Global Keynote Challenge and what it is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has to be like a TED Talk. Now, don't worry about this. Don't even try to read what's behind me. Unfortunately, I said I'd speak 10 minutes before the meeting began. So what is a TED Talk? Briefly, and please don't look at this slide behind me. It is all about having a clear idea. We all Toastmasters, we know, have a clear idea, make sure that the presentation has structure. It is an 18-minute speech, which all TED Talks are, so you are given 18 minutes. At 18 minutes, the red light goes on and you're off the stage. There's no 30 seconds more. Passion, personal connection, structure, visuals, relevance. We all Toastmasters, we all know that, right? But however, in TED Talks, you're given a small red circle. If you've ever watched the TED Talk, the speaker stands on the red circle. There's not too much dramatic gestures. There's not too much of anything except it is such a relevant message. And the way it's spoken slowly and with relevance and with the appropriate poses and actually speaking to the audience and with the audience, that's what a TED Talk is. And so you will be asked to speak like TED Talk. Now, how do you get into the Global Leadership Keynote Challenge? Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's the journey that you have to take to come onto the stage on February the 4th. The first thing, you have to submit a teaser submission to kickstart your entry. Now, what is a teaser submission? It is a 3-minute riveting video that captures the essence of your chosen global issue. Make a setup, take notice, and anticipate your keynote on February the 4th. The submission has to be done by December the 7th this year, so that panel of judges can go through that and make sure that you made it or not. And the announcement will be made on January the 7th in a Zoom call, global Zoom call. And 10 selections will be made on January the 7th. So that between December the 7th and January the 7th, it gives the judges enough time to go through all the entries and let the 10 people know beforehand, of course, secretly. And then the announcement will be made on the Zoom call. Thirdly, of course, the grand finale, those 10 people will come on February the 4th to speak in front of a global audience on Zoom in a TED Talk type of presentation, captivating the audience, telling us about why you are, what your concerns are about the global issues, what are the things that you think should happen or not happen, your insights, solutions to a global audience. That is the ultimate Global Keynote Challenge. Are you in for it? Will you step forward? I will put in the chat the teaser submission application form link. Please fill it in if you want to go. I know that some people already have completed that form, have completed that 3-minute video, and we are looking forward to going through that. Will you be part of that Keynote Challenge? I'll leave it to you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Brahm. Yes. How many of you noted February the 4th How many of you noted the journey towards the ultimate global Keynote challenge? 3 T's: teaser submission, top 10 selection, and the grand finale. Remember February the 4th. Thank you, Brahm, again. Yes, moving to the next speaker. The next speaker for today is Toastmaster Rivero, and he will be delivering his speech on his path engaging humor level 1 project 3, and he will be evaluated by Toastmaster Ram Laknapar. Toastmaster Ram, over to you to read the objective.
Madam Toastmaster Noorul, Toastmaster Ray will be presenting from the engaging human path. We know how challenging that can be. We're doing a level 1, project number 3, Introduction to Vocal Variety and Body Language. Our Toastmaster is presenting a speech, a topic of his choice, and using those vocal variety, body language, gestures, or both. Of course, his title will be given by the Toastmaster. The speaker asked me to look out for 2 things, primarily. 1, he has a tendency of inserting pauses, sometimes in the middle of sentences. That's the evaluation he received before, but I'll give my view on that, whether he does and to extent if he doesn't. And second of all, vocal variety and body language, and how does it add to his speech. Madam Toastmaster, he is going to do that in 5 to 7 minutes. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ram. Yes. Today, Rivero will introduce Rocky the dog to leadership speak. Is this another "Here is my pet" Toastmaster speech? Let's find out. Rivero, our dog Rocky, Rivero.
Zoom Master, can we share my screen, please? Thank you. It's the beginning of the pandemic, and late April 2020. One evening, my wife and I brought our son over to the living room and asked him a question. We wanted to record his response for posterity. Benjamin, how would you feel about getting a dog? Fellow leadership speak members and our honored guests, we decided to go get a dog to teach our son responsibility. We were hoping to get an older dog, not so active, nice to lounge around, and we prayed upon it. But a funny thing about prayers, you usually get approximately 1 of 3 responses. Yes, no, and not exactly. We got the mother of all responses for not exactly. This is Rocky, a very active, with limitless energy, 2-year-old mix of a terrier and a dachshund. And did I mention his cute ears? We had no idea what we were going to expect from Rocky other than how to figure out what to do with all this energy. First, he had to see if he got along with our cat. You know the story between dogs and cats. When they see each other, it's like a shootout scene from the American West. You don't know how they're going to circle each other. But I'm glad to say that they get along with each other just fine like siblings. Rocky eats out of the food bowl of the cat, and the cat drinks out of the water bowl of the dog. Perfect. Now, we'd also like to take Rocky over to the dog park, and he gets rid of that limitless energy by zipping around all over the place. I really think he is part greyhound too. Sometimes the dogs in that park chase him to accompany him or to just say, "That's enough, stop it, we got rules here." But he keeps on zipping, and one time he did a 180-degree zip, zoom, not losing stride, and the other dogs did a 360, tumbling in the grass and the dirt, wondering, how did he do that? But his favorite activity is walking. He usually likes to tell us he's ready for a walk. He likes to just come up with his nose, touch the leg, and tell us how he wants to go for a walk. He's trained us quite well. My son is actually responsible, very responsible. He feeds him, gets him to sleep, but he won't take him for walks. And I'll tell you why. He doesn't have the patience. Because when I take Rocky for a walk, we walk, and we walk, and we walk. It could be a 45-minute. It could be more than an hour. I've taken him on a 2-hour walk. Ugh. But it isn't all boring. Sometimes we get to greet the neighbors around the neighborhood, see which dogs that are playful and which ones are not. But he really loves to go into the bushes and flush out animals. On his bucket list is to capture a bird, capture a squirrel, and capture a rabbit. He's captured a rabbit and a bird, but he hasn't caught a squirrel yet. Sometimes he sees a bush and he goes right into it sniffing around until all of a sudden, tick, 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 a little bit of a tick, and in goes the dog, and out come the rabbits. But he also notices squirrels. We have plenty in our neighborhood. And when he sees that squirrel, he goes on his hind legs, walking very eagerly, ready for the chase. And then he goes and sees the squirrel and looks up the tree and starts looking up and just jumping to see if he can get that squirrel. "Master, you gotta put me up on this tree." "No, sir. Because when I take a look up that tree, there's that squirrel looking at me." "Why are you doing this?" "I'm just taking the dog for a walk." After a while, Rocky starts to have a little bit of a limit of that limitless energy, and we're back on our way to a walk. So there you have it. It's been 3 years since Rocky has been part of our family. He did capture that squirrel. Okay, it was a stuffed squirrel. It counts. But he also enjoys spending some quality time resting with us. And I can honestly say that he has shown us limitless love in how important he is to us and we to him. I just felt a cold nose on my leg. You know what that means? It's time to give Rocky his walk. Excuse me. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ray. Wow, what a beautiful story. Moving forward to the next speaker. The next speaker is Toastmaster Asif Saiyed. Asif Saiyed will be doing his speech on innovative learning, and he will be evaluated by Toastmaster Nikhita Winkler. Toastmaster Nikhita, can you please read the objective of Asif Said's speech?
Yes, thank you. Very exciting. So the objective is making a Toastmasters audience aware of meaning, benefits, and approach to developing a niche in public speaking. This speech is 5 to 7 minutes long, and I look forward. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Nikhita. Yes, Asif Said will be delivering his Innovative Planning Path Level 1, Project 2. And Asif is a licensed trainer with John Maxwell Academy for Leadership and Public Speaking. He wants to share his expertise in helping Toastmasters members to develop their niche. He feels by developing their niche, they can really become an expert in their unique skills. Asif said, developing a niche. Developing a niche, Asif said.
I'm just waiting for our Zoom master to spotlight me. Thank you, Zoom master. Thank you, Noorul. So, dear fellow Toastmasters, a very good morning and good afternoon or evening from wherever you are. Why do we want to develop a niche? Well, niche simply means carving out a slice out of a big market. So whenever you think of anything, any product or service, if you carve out a slice of it, then that becomes a niche, because you are trying to then solve the specific needs, problems of that segment of the market. What has this to do with Toastmasters and public speaking? Imagining that I'm right now standing before, on Zoom with so many of 33 participants. Each participant may be having a different need. They may be thinking from different concepts, there are different backgrounds. And the kind of a message which I want to deliver to all of you may align with your requirements or might not. But if I knew what is your specific requirements, your problem, your challenges, and then if I want to communicate my idea, I may be able to tailor my message for you. Not only that, by practicing my message to a specific set of audiences, I'm able to develop my own creativity, my own expertise. I may, get some more credentials, maybe some certifications, and deliver a specific message to you. What happens when you have expertise? I mean, have you ever thought about, your difference between a general practitioner in medicine versus a surgeon? Who gets more money per patient? Think about it. Who gets more money? Obviously, the surgeon, right? So similarly, this is all about when you are developing your public speaking skills. Would you be more concerned to reaching out to a very vast market or an audience? Or would you be focused on serving a need of specific segment? For example, let me say this way, you invite me for public speaking, for leadership, or for well-being, or for financial independence, or for audit. if I have that expertise on that particular subject matter, you will be more happy to listen to me and get benefited out of it. That means adding value to your market audience. Now, Toastmasters, is a place where you come and practice your public speaking skills. Are this audience your real market target audience? The answer is depends on the speaker who wants to reach out and give the specific message. Right now, for me, you are the target audience. But when I'm delivering my speech related to mid-level management or leadership, then that time you may not be my specific target audience. And the speech which I may be delivering to you, it might not be interested for you as well. But again, very important in Toastmasters is that you are coming here to practice for that speech, which you want to go and deliver it outside, and where you want to be very, fabulous, so that when you get that opportunity to deliver, you will be able to grab attention of all your audiences, the relevant audiences. And this is the crux of developing your niche in public speaking, profession, or your job, any place of market you think about it. Whenever you think about niche, it's about your demand and supply. Now think about demand and supply means what? Demand and supply is also confounded by your geography as well. Like, for example, a general practitioner, how many patients would visit that person in a particular area? And if you are a surgeon, how many patients would visit that surgeon from a particular geography? It all depends on that marketability, isn't it? Similar to that as well is in public speaking as well. Now, because of internet and this platform which you have, Zoom and other platforms where you can collaborate, you can push boundaries and you can reach to a larger market. And then you can slice and find out your relevant audiences, and you can deliver the message to them for their specific requirements. For example, let's say financial needs, or maybe wellness, or something like, even when you think about career coaching or coaching, to who are your audiences? Are they from top management? Are they from school? Are they from those teenagers? Are they sports people? Who are your audiences? Think from that perspective, and then you start developing your message. I have seen many of the Toastmasters, the primary objective why they come into the Toastmasters is very simple. I want to be a fabulous speaker. Fabulous speaker and deliver a message for whom? Now, this is a challenge for you, where you will push your boundaries when you start identifying your audience. And then you go back in and start developing your message. And then you will go back in and you start referring or finding out all those material relevant to you, which will enable you to become a market expert. Now, for example, you can see so many books behind me. These are all leadership books or on communication. And I need to go and read book by book by book. And then I add my own experience to it and my certifications for it. And that's where I've defined my niche as mid-level management, for whom I do my research, I interview them, I try to understand what are the challenges, and then I develop my message and practice over here in Toastmasters, so that I can really craft my message in such a way that when I'm given an opportunity outside in an organization or on a conference, I can really speak to their heart. I can really speak to their problem, that pains which they're facing. And then they'll say, wow, this is the person whom I've been looking for. That's the reason, my dear Toastmasters, you need to practice, focus, and understand how would you develop your niche and go on practicing it till the extent you become a perfectionist and expert in that area. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Asif. Identify your specific audience. Develop, push your boundaries. Develop your message. You will exceed your expectations. Thank you, Asif, again for your valuable speech. Going forward, we will be having an evaluation presentation, and it will be delivered by Deborah Walker. Deborah Walker, one of our newer members to the Leadership Speak. Have you ever asked yourself what the most important ingredient is for giving a strong evaluation? Today, you're going to discover just that. Please welcome Deborah Walker, Evaluation as an Investment. Over to you, Deborah. And also, I would like to inform that Deborah will share a one-page document at the end of the presentation. She will be sharing in the chat, so you need not to worry to taking notes. Deborah, over to you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Can everyone see my title slide?
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. Do you have a reputation for evaluation? I'll ask everyone to unmute themselves for a moment. I have a question for you. What do you feel is the number one most important thing for becoming a good speech evaluator? Who has a thought?
Attention
Critical
to detail.
Attention to detail. All right, what else?
Critical
To
thinking.
listen.
Listen.
Listening skills.
Mm-hmm.
Objectivity.
Yes. One more.
Critical thinking.
Critical thinking. Excellent. Thank you. You may all put your mics back on. Those are all very good answers, and those are all components of becoming a good speech evaluator for sure. But I would like to suggest to you today that evaluation is actually an investment. As an evaluator, you are investing your time and effort in helping the speaker become a better speaker. But what happens before you can invest in others? Remember the last time you went on a plane ride? Picture yourself sitting in your seat on the plane, waiting to head out to the runway. The pre-flight instructions come on. Part of that is, should there be a loss of cabin pressure, masks will fall from the ceiling above you. Tug on that mask and place your own mask on first before assisting others. The same principle applies to evaluation. Before you can invest in the speaker, you need to invest in yourself. For the last 2 years, I've been on a bit of a journey, and I have spent a lot of time with Toastmasters at the world level learning from them, whether it was an online course, a free newsletter, one-on-one coaching, group coaching. I was a sponge, and I learned a lot from a number of different people. Now, initially, the purpose of all of that was to help me grow my skills as a speaker and become a better speech competitor. But there was a side benefit that I had not envisioned. By virtue of what I learned, it actually made me a better speech evaluator. And the evaluations that I'm able to provide today are much different from those from 2 years ago. But what exactly made the difference? The difference came down to one word, and that word is knowledge. Donald Rumsfeld said, "You don't know what you don't know." In order to develop a reputation for evaluation, the key is in increasing your knowledge. You base your evaluation of the speaker based on what you know. The more that you know, the more feedback you are able to provide. What I would like to do as part of this presentation is share with you 8 tips that I've learned over the last 2 years. They're not in any particular order of importance, but they're the key ones that really stuck out to me and what I have carried forward with me. Tip number 1, the foundational phrase. Have you heard of a foundational phrase? Raise your hand if you know what a foundational phrase is. I'm not seeing any hands go up. Oh, there's one. All right. A foundational phrase is one sentence, 10 words or less, that is the key takeaway message for the audience. It's that one thought that the speaker really wants to leave the audience with. Ideally, it would be rhythmic, so it's easy to remember. By way of example, Craig Valentine has a lot of foundational phrases, and 2 that he uses quite a bit are, "Don't get ready, stay ready," or "What got you here won't get you there." In one of my speeches from a couple years ago, I had a foundational phrase that said, "What's done is done, what's gone is gone, it's time to move on." So as you listen to the speaker speak, do they have a foundational phrase, that aha moment that is the one message the audience is to take away? Second tip is having a hero in your story. If you are evaluating a speaker and they're telling a story that involves a conflict, there needs to be a solution to the conflict. And that solution is usually provided by the hero or the guru in the story. As you listen to the speaker's story, ask yourself, who's the hero? Did anyone catch the hero in Hannah's speech today? If you did, unmute yourself and tell me who the name was.
Jessica. Jessica.
That's right. Jessica was the hero in Hannah's story. She was the one that Hannah looked up to that helped provide to her the solution for her problem. And that's what the hero does. So well done, Hannah, for having a hero in your story. Tip number 3, dialogue. Did you notice in Hannah's presentation today that she had a mix of narration and dialogue? That's really important. Dialogue is usually thought of as a reason to incorporate vocal variety into one's speech, but it's actually a way to engage the audience and break up the narration. If I were to tell you a story saying, Jane got up in the morning, she was hungry, so she decided to go to the grocery store. She picked up some fruit and came home, passed her little brother in the living room, and went to make her breakfast. That's very boring. It's not very engaging. It's not going to hold the audience's attention for very long. But if we change that up and add dialogue, it brings it to life. Jane got up, she was hungry, so she went to the grocery store. Well, she ran into her neighbor, Irene, in the aisle. Hi, Irene, how are you doing this morning? Oh, not bad at all, Jane, but my dog threw up on my Persian rug this morning, so we're off to a rough start. That's more engaging. It brings it to life. As you listen to speakers' stories, do they have dialogue to help break up the narration? And do they have enough dialogue or too much dialogue? Tip number 4, Brahm, I have to ask your forgiveness on this one. PowerPoint slides with bullet points. I can't tell you how many times when I've been at work and I've seen managers present and they put up a white slide or a plain slide with a whole bunch of text on it. And what happens is the audience attention goes right to the text and it goes off of the speaker. I've seen it happen so many times at work. A way around this is to use engaging slides that the speaker speaks to, as opposed to the slides speaking for the speaker. So what I've done in this presentation, aside from this slide, is have photographs and pictures. And I go to a website called unsplash.com, and then I use the designer tool in PowerPoint to format the slides. It is super easy. It's something that I learned from a coworker many years ago, and it totally, completely changed the way that I did PowerPoint slides. So as you're evaluating your speaker, encourage them. Keep words on the slides to maybe 5 words or less, and let the speaker speak to the slide as opposed to the slide speaking for the speaker. It's something that's always been a work in progress, like I said, even for people at work who are managers. Then there is you. I'm sure you've all heard that a speaker's speech is a gift that they give to the audience. And by the end of that speech, there should be a takeaway message for the audience that is you focused on the audience. And this is where we get into what is called the IU ratio. And there's no perfect ratio, but if it appears that a person's speech is really more centered on the speaker, as opposed to the speaker taking their story and making it about the audience, you can encourage them to actually take a look through their script and count the I's and count the U's. And they could use the 80-20 rule as a guide. 80% U's, 20% I's. But ideally, as the speaker speaks, they may share a personal story of their own. But at the end of the day, it is to be a you-focused message. Tip number 6, show of hands. Have you ever been listening to a speaker's presentation and they end with a Q&A? Raise your hand, or your virtual hand. I've seen it happen lots. And really, a better way to do a Q&A is to embed the Q&A as part of the speaker's presentation. Audiences remember best what they hear first and what they hear last. And the speaker wants to make sure they have that last word at the end of their presentation to leave their own final thought with the audience. And a way that they can do that is to introduce a Q&A session by saying, I have a few minutes for some questions. We will do that for the next 5 minutes, and then we will wrap it up. And then at the close, they can simply say, by way of closing today's session, my final thought for you is. So keep a lookout. When you are evaluating people who are doing a Q&A, watch for the placement of the Q&A. And if it winds up that the speaker doesn't bring it back for their own final thoughts, you can encourage that speaker later on to do so. Notes. Notes, notes, notes. To use or to not use notes. If the speaker is brand new, they're only doing their first, second, third, fourth speech, it's understood. They may want some type of notes or note cards to look at, and we support them in that. But as they grow in their career as a speaker, well, they shouldn't be relying on notes all that much, right? But how to do that? When I was coaching with Verity Price, she would encourage me to work on internalizing my speech. And the first thought that went through my mind was, well, how do I do that, Verity? What would you suggest? And she gave me some interesting suggestions that I had never heard of before. One of her tips to me was, when you practice and rehearse your speech, do it in half the time. Take that 7-minute speech and whiz through it in 3.5 minutes. If you've ever done it, it's really, really fast. And then do the opposite. Take that 7-minute speech, stretch it out into 14 minutes and go really slow. She also suggested taking that speech and rehearsing it as if you were practicing it to a young child, whether it's your own child, a niece or a nephew, a student. As I took her tips and I worked on those, they really actually do work. And those are suggestions that you can offer to those that you are speaking if they are really relying on notes, is to encourage them to work on the internalization, not the memorization of the speech, by adjusting how long they practice for. And the final tip that I look for, by the end of the speaker's speech, what is it that the speaker wants you to think, feel, or do? It should be very clear. There should be one key takeaway at the end of the speech, and it could be simply repeating the foundational phrase and calling back to the hero who provided it. But it should be very clear. What is that one thing that stands out from the rest of the speech? So those are the tips. But there is a second part to evaluation that is just as, if not more important, and that is the delivery of the evaluation. Have you ever heard that there are members who have left Toastmasters because they received an excessively harsh evaluation? I have heard of that happening. It happened to a colleague of mine many, many, many years ago, and she never returned to Toastmasters. The speech evaluation is intended to be encouraging and empowering. And it's not always what you say, but it's how you say it to the speaker. For example, including phrases such as, something that you may want to consider is, or a different approach to doing this might be to. Phrasing portions of the evaluation as suggestions that the speaker can take away and think about helps make for a very, very good experience for the speaker. Because after all, as you develop a reputation for evaluation, you are empowering and encouraging your fellow Toastmasters. Now, I'm going to practice what I preach. I have 2 minutes available for some questions on evaluation. Does anyone have a question? If so, please feel free to unmic yourself and ask a question. Brahm.
How does one come up with the hero statement? I mean, your foundational statement, sorry.
Yep, the foundational phrase. That's a very good question.
How do you find one?
How do you find one? All right, it starts with what the main idea is with your speech, what the main one point, that one key takeaway you want the audience to have. The challenge is sometime in making it rhythmic. Like when Craig Valentine says, don't get ready, stay ready. How do you do that? There is a tool online called rhymer.com, RHYMER.com. You can go to that website, type in a word, and it will give you a list of words, whether it's 1 syllable, 2 syllables, and so on, words that will rhyme with that word. And that is a site that I've used a number of times to help me build the foundational phrase. And it works really good because sometimes you can't think in the moment and it just doesn't really come to you right away. Rhymer.com, great place to go. Take one key word that you really want to reinforce with the audience. Go to rhymer.com to find words that will rhyme with that, and it'll work. One more question. Hannah, did you have one?
No.
No, okay. Your virtual hand was raised. Does anyone else have one question?
Deborah, this is Rivero. I do have one question for you.
Yes, yes.
How do you feel about using the I statements in the use of an evaluation?
In terms of when you are addressing the evaluator?
Yes.
I is fine. You can just phrase it in a statement. For example, one thing that I would suggest, or you can leave the I out and simply say one suggestion might be. You can do it either way. At the end of the day, the intent of the evaluation is not to make it about the evaluator. It is about to make it about the speaker. But you could definitely say, I would suggest looking at rhymer.com. I mean, nothing wrong with that. Just don't make the evaluation about yourself, except when you're talking about how the speech made you feel and the impression it left on you. Does that answer your question, Ray?
Yeah, it's because it's always it's emphasized in the project manual.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Here are a few resources for you. These will be in the handout, so you do not need to write these down. but these are all tools that I have used that have really helped me. The first two, the 52 speaking tips and the free 50 speaking secrets, are free materials from Craig Valentine that you can go to and sign up for. The 52 speaking tips, when you sign up for it, you will get 1 tip per week in your email inbox to an audio recording that lasts for about 5-6 minutes. And then there is also a link to a PDF file. After a year, you will have a binder full of all of those tips, and they cover things such as evaluation of foundational phrases, dialogue, all those types of things. So those are fabulous tips. The 50 speaking secrets are short form videos, about 5-6 minutes each, 2 per week, and you'll go through them all in 25 weeks. Some of them complement the 52 speaking tips and repeat some of the material, but it's watching Craig in action, delivering different topics. Verity Price published her first book last year, Present with Power, and that is available for $10 US and downloadable right from her website. So it's accessible to everybody in the club. And then, of course, there is unsplash.com as well as rhymer.com. And those are all resources that you can use to invest in yourself as an evaluator. Evaluation is an investment. As the evaluator, you are investing your time and your effort in helping empower and encourage the speaker for their future projects. But before you can invest in anyone else, you have to invest in yourself first. Knowledge is the key to investing in yourself, and knowledge is the key to build a reputation for evaluation. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Deborah. Tips 8, foundation, hero, dialogue. Don't do this. You Q&A, notes and delivery. Thank you very much for a very, very detailed workshop. Thank you very much, Deborah. Again, a big round of applause to you. Going forward, there is a small amendment. The next speaker is Toastmaster Brahm Ochola. He was supposed to be evaluated by Toastmaster Venkat Sai. He is yet to come to the screen. So as at now, Toastmaster Hannah Smith will be evaluating his speech. Toastmaster Hannah to read the purpose statement of Brahm Ochola's speech.
Certainly, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Brahm is speaking from the path Dynamic Leadership. Introduction to Vocal Variety and Body Language. And the purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety and body language to enhance the speech. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Hannah. Toastmaster Brahm is a trailblazing Toastmaster who has mastered the art of putting skin in the game. Even within less than 2 years in Toastmastering, he is taking leading roles in his Toastmaster journey. He is professionally a journalist, graphics and art designer, a public speaker, and trainer, as well as the leadership development coach. When I asked about the pushing boundaries, he says, pushing boundaries has helped me create and discover myself. It has helped me realize I have more potential than I can dream. Brahm Ochola. One good turn deserves another. One good turn deserves another. Brahm Ochola.
Breaking news. Breaking news. I was never supposed to be a Toastmaster. Imagine that world. I was never supposed to be a Toastmaster. You had that right. Here's what happened. In my university, whenever we have a new group of student leaders, after the election, they are sworn in. After they are sworn in, we have to have an orientation session. In 2021, April, I attended one of these orientations, but not as a student leader. I attended as one of the students who were in the room to organize it. Passed books around, made sure everybody had a pen, and if they needed water, avail it to them. This session was facilitated by guess who? Toastmasters. And that was my first encounter with Toastmasters. I will share the photo with you in just a minute. During this encounter with Toastmasters, I diligently, I will say that one more time, diligently passed out books and papers. Toastmasters and guests, in my background, you can see right there. That was my first encounter. That's what I looked like, right? But it seemed I did such a good job that after one of the Toastmasters, Dr. Christine Navirio from Lubowa Toastmasters, who is now my mentor, made a comment. She said, Baron, if you join Toastmasters, I guarantee you in 6 months, 6, not 5, in 6 months, you will not recognize yourself. I couldn't join at the time. Student life, you can't afford this, can't afford that. But I still engaged in Toastmasters meetings. She became one of my mentors. How was I in that room in the first place? A Toastmaster whom we all know in leadership speak, Toastmaster Kenneth Kajora, was my lecturer at that time, and it is he who ensured that I was in the room to assist and also get in on what was being shared. These are two coincidences, one would think. I prefer to call them mentorship because I followed in their footsteps and I picked something from it. My favorite nursery rhyme was, the wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round. If you know this, you can just put a virtual thumb up. You can just do this. The wheels on the bus go round and round. Of course, except for the timer, keep your hand up. Everybody else, if you know this song, virtual hand up. Nice, I see Dan Odero. That was a favorite song of most of us when we were young. But we thought that song was all about wheels and buses. Let me tell you something, it is not. It is not. Well, at least now that I've grown up, I understand that it is about reciprocity. The wheels on the bus going round and round. Reciprocity. It is with my reflection of the impact of these mentors in my life that I have decided to be intentional with mentorship. For the good turn that they passed on to me has to go round and round. One good turn deserves another. With this being said, breaking news once again. I am becoming a club coach. I am becoming a club coach. And that is for Entebbe Toastmasters in Uganda. This journey is not going to be easy. But I believe with this journey, I am also going to be able to assist other Toastmasters get to higher positions in their lives, in their communication journeys, and in anything they wish to do with what they put their effort into. Here are some of the things that I have been able to achieve in my short journey in Toastmasters, which has been 2 years. In these 2 years, I have been able to stand at the district stage to deliver an evaluation speech. And if you don't believe me, evidence is right there, right? In just 2 years, from this to this. Toastmasters and guests, if that was the impact my mentors had on me, there is no telling how much impact I can have on other Toastmasters. But not only am I going to work with Entebbe Toastmasters, I have put it upon myself to assist the Gavo clubs in Uganda. We have Gavo clubs in many universities, Makerere, Chambogo, for those of you who might know this. And we want to host a session online that will hopefully bring in all Gavo club members in East Africa to bring the conversation of Toastmasters, to bring the conversation of public speaking, to bring the conversation of leadership development to all universities in the area. East Africa, hopefully Africa, and hopefully one day we can have Gavo clubs as streamlined as Toastmasters International is. Because of the mentorship I got, one good turn deserves another. My call to you, Toastmasters and guests, I am quite certain all of us in this meeting have experienced grace from other people, and that is what has propelled us to where we are right now. My call to you is to take it upon yourself, put your hand out for somebody else, all in the name of one good turn deserving another. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Brahm. How he conquered the district stage and the evaluation contest. Right mentorship helped him to push his boundaries, to work with Gavel clubs, take the leadership role as a club coach, and more in Toastmastering. Thank you very much, Toastmasters Brahm, for a very, very inspiring speech. Yes, now we have concluded the speaker sessions. Zoom Master, can you please launch the poll? While Zoom Master launching the poll, we will move on to the, and I would request the timer to put the timer report on the chat. Yes, now we will move on to the next session, the evaluation session. Today, the general evaluator is past district director Vivian Robinson. When I asked her about the pushing boundaries, she told me this: there are always boundaries, and as I meet and face boundaries, I adjust so that boundaries have a limited effect in my life. My husband's recent illness has caused me to push my boundaries and readjust my life. Toastmaster Vivian Robinson, I'll hand over the control to you to conduct the evaluation session. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. Welcome to the general evaluation session of this meeting. I do have assistants to help me with this portion of the meeting. And in order to evaluate the toast, I will invite Toastmaster Prajama Singh to the virtual stage to evaluate the toast. Toastmaster Singh, please.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator and my fellow Toastmasters, and particularly Toastmaster Brahm. Thanks for a fantastic, energetic, and engaging and unforgettable toast. And what the best, aligning with the theme of the meeting, pushing boundaries. You delivered the toast with a wonderful, great vocal variety, stressing upon the relevant points and synchronized gestures, and with the wonderful, suitable examples from all arena of the world, as well as of our life, with the well-chosen words. And examples like Magellan, who pushed the boundaries to prove that the earth is round, Thomas Edison, Steve Jobs, and our own founder of the Toastmasters, Ralph Smedley. They have all pushed their boundaries, and all of us are being benefited by their pushing the boundaries and becoming limitless.
We can't hear you.
You're on mute, Brahm.
I am really inspired, and you pushed to me and hope all of others present also to push their boundary, achieve our inherent potential. Of course, your energy level was very high, and you were at a very high pace. I felt that this high pace was not able to evoke those emotions, because before we could go to the understand and learn the essence of the first words, there were something new was coming. And if there are proper pauses as well as the pace was low, it would have been more easy for grasp the essence. Overall, it was a perfect toast, and we are all inspired by your toast to leave the comfort zone and become limitless by pushing boundaries. Over to you, General Evans.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Singh. Now, to evaluate the Toastmaster of the day, I invite Toastmaster Corinne Baptiste to the virtual stage. Toastmaster Baptiste.
Thank you, Viviane, for this introduction. I would like to congratulate Noorul for this great job this evening, this afternoon, or this morning. Thank you for this great job. I would like to pay attention because Noorul has prepared in advance this meeting 2 weeks ago, because she has created a WhatsApp group with all players' roles to ask them if they want to confirm their presence for each role player. Thank you very much, Noorul, because we don't see this part before this meeting. And also, you have developed this skill, this organization. So it is important when you are Toastmaster of the Day to be a great organizational. After that, you have to collaborate with Anna, the leadership to deliver the educational session, because you also developed this skill as collaboration, and to think about the topic, pushing the boundaries. Finally, this theme is very impactful on us. It creates a lot of insightful thoughts, and also it creates limitless objectives. This topic finally talks to us. You are formed a perfect topic for all of us. Third skill, you have also anticipate. As you know, you have some changes at the last minute and you need to find solutions. And you did a great job for that. I also to congratulate your attitude, your position during this meeting. Your voice was very clear to introduce each speaker player. And also you gave us a lot of energy with your voice. We felt this energy, even if we are online meeting. As you know, online is completely different on a physical session. And we need to feel your energy, your enthusiasm during this meeting, and especially your smile. During this meeting, you smiled a lot because you are very passionate about this topic. And you want us to share this important topic with us. I would like to share with you only one recommendation. Pay attention with the sunglasses. As you know, we are online meeting and we can see light inside your sunglasses. And I don't have the solution. Maybe it could be the light, or you need to try some different images or with the camera to connect further your audience. This is just a little a recommendation to have more impact with your audience and give us your connection with us. To sum up, good preparation, good organization, a good collaboration with Anna to find a topic. This topic is very interesting for her because we have a lot, finally, suggestions, ideas to have limitless objective. And just a little recommendation, pay attention to your sunglasses. Back to you, Madame General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Baptiste. Great comments and good recommendations and very timely. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, now let's move to our leadership speaker and that evaluation. The evaluator for our leadership speaker today, who was Hannah, is going to be evaluated by Toastmaster Claudette Thomas. Toastmaster Claudette Thomas, I'll bring you to the virtual platform now. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and especially Hannah. Hannah, thank you for delivering an inspiring keynote speech on how you pushed your boundaries and how you conquered the validation addiction to serve and become a leader. Congratulations, job well done. Hannah, your message on how you overcame your validation addiction has helped me to look at myself and to conquer my own validation addiction. Hannah, I like the hook you used at the beginning, at the opening. You told us about the devil whispering in your ears, and you demonstrated. And you also tied that same opening to your conclusion. So you brought it full circle. I wanted to know what the devil told you, and you told us. The devil told you that you were not strong enough. You told us about your brother David and confiding in each other, who was your buddy. However, David died. You lowered your voice and you came closer to the camera. You told us about entering a cocoon in the early years and seeking validation. And it was a very effective use of emotions to draw us in. Hannah, these personal stories about your brother, Jessica, a mentor, your sports involvement, school, work, Toastmasters have helped you to conquer your validation addiction. You told us about the causes of this validation addiction, which can be jealousy, envy, looking to others or at others, attention seeking, folding your arms around your body, and you demonstrated all of that. And there were many more causes that you told us about. Hannah, I appreciated the nuggets, several nuggets you provided in conquering your validation addiction to achieve the results you have achieved today. You said, believe in yourself, embrace the power of learning, be true to yourself, get support from others. You found Jessica, who was a mentor, and you used dialogue in that exchange to emphasize your message. And to stop, and you showed us the sign, this nonsense that you're not good enough. Hannah, you specifically asked me to look for gestures and vocal variety. The gestures were effective, and there were several. You placed your hands on your chest several times when you were referring to yourself. Craving pats on your back. You did that. You showed us all of that. The facial expression, and you also had a very warm smile, which engaged us. Your vocal variety, so there was good pace and volume. What I would suggest is some pitch at times. Raise your voice more often and lower it, which you did at sometimes. The Zoom presence, Hannah, was excellent. Your outfit and your background complemented each other. And how you use the camera. You came closer at times, or you moved away. Great impact and engagement. Or consider sometimes using the width of the camera, if possible. It may not be possible. And at times to me, you are looking down. So I don't know if you can adjust the angle of your camera at times. What I would suggest is wider gestures at times and more open instead of the finger pointing. In summary, Hannah, you told us about your journey to overcome validation addiction and how you overcame it and the benefits of overcoming it. Overall, Hannah, thank you for an inspiring speech. Great reflection on this journey. I'm encouraged to be brutally honest, set my goals, persevere, break out of my comfort zone and succeed. Don't fall into the prey of validation addiction. You can break out of your cocoon, and so can I. Thank you, Hannah. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Thomas, for those comments, excellent comments that you've made and good recommendations. And lastly, closing with encouragement to you to move forward and conquer. Fellow Toastmasters and to guests, our first speaker was Brahm, and his evaluator is Toastmaster Mohmad. I'd like to invite Toastmaster Mohmad to the virtual stage for the evaluation. Toastmaster Mohmad.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. This is my second opportunity that I am evaluating the speech delivered by Brahm Memone. And every time I feel myself very proud to do this job. So today's topic that Brahm Memone brought was a very quick fix in a very short time. And he rightly selected the right topic for the people, for the audience today. So today's topic was the ultimate global keynote challenge. So I, in the beginning, understood in a very different ways, in a different reshuffled way, like global challenges of a keynote speech or a global keynote speaker and their challenges in this way. But whatever I thought, Brahm Memone delivered the speech that met all the requirements that I needed. So that was really very wonderful speech that I considered today. So when I would try to understand a script, speech, or a movie itself, then I ask some questions like what, when, why, where, who, and how. So in this speech, I got all the responses, all the answers of my questions here, that what was this speech about. So, and he started speaking about TED Talk. When the TED Talk comes in my mind, I consider that, yes, there is some keynote speaker and who speaks about some topic that is very closely related to everyone of this world. And exactly Brahm Memone explained in the same way that he gave us that what topic should be in TED Talk or in keynote speeches, like artificial intelligence, economy, population explosion, education, pandemic, and mental health. These are the topics that we can consider in a keynote speech and in TED Talk. That exactly Brahm Memone explained. And also he explained the basic structure. And I understand that Brahm Memone, he also adopted the same techniques and skills in today's presentation, like clear idea, making a personal connection, structured well of his speech, and using visuals and related to the audience. These are all I found in his speech today. So, and then the question comes that how one can be a keynote speaker. Then he just give this information that there is some teaser submission you can submit, and if there is coming to in February, you can go and participate in the challenge, and you can be one of the greatest effective keynote speaker. So one thing I like very much in the speech is that his command over his presentation. One of the slide was looking like coding in computer language, but Brahm Memone, he spoke himself for this the slide without reading from the slide. One improvement that I suggest, use images in the slide, because your audience is from illiterate to doctorate. They will understand the images. Good luck. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohmad. Good comments, timely, and good use of hand gestures. We did notice your gestures as you did deliver your evaluation. Fellow Toastmasters, our second speaker was Toastmaster Ray Rivano, and Toastmaster Ray was evaluated by Toastmaster Ram. And may I invite Toastmaster Ram to the virtual stage, please. Toastmaster Ram.
Madam GE, and especially our speaker Ray. Wow, what a story. What a rock solid story. Revolving around Rocky, the star, a big star of the show. A proverb once said, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And that you described in different shots of Rocky, and to tell us what he looked like. And I'll always remember Rocky. Big ears. Is it a mixed breed? Is it something different? It doesn't look like a dog that I've seen before. But our interactions, I want to get back to the interactions you and I had. You gave me what you're looking for in terms of getting your speech a little better. Because someone evaluated you saying that you do this and do that, and you wanted to say my opinion as well. And one of the things that you wanted me to look at was pausing tendencies in the middle of the sentence. I would say not an issue, because sometimes you need that a little pause. I'm speaking to you, but there's a little pause there. Some people call it pregnant pauses, whatever pause you want to call it. But those are effective. And our interactions, as I said, was quite good. And the pausing is not a vocal variety. It was there. Perhaps it could go a little bit up or down. That is subject to discussion. Hand gestures were really, really effective. Very, very good, I thought. But something that I'd like you to consider, to add a little more spice to the flavor. I want you to remember, who will remember Rocky, and how would Rocky be remembered, and will bring us closer to Rocky. You could say, my family and I love Rocky. Do you have a dog as well? Is it like Rocky? Something like that? Do you have a dog that you had or will get? Final thoughts. Summary. Did you meet the objective? I think yes. You overcame the two things that you were worried about, vocal variety, etc., and pausing in the middle of a sentence. Not an issue, as I said. Resounding success. Congratulations. With that, I return the virtual lantern to you, Madam Toastmaster, Madam EGE.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ram, and great points that you brought out, especially the point that the speaker met the objectives of the speech. Good recommendations, good illustrations of what he could have employed in order to make the speech more effective. Thank you so much for that well-rounded evaluation. Fellow Toastmasters, our next speaker was Toastmaster Asif, and his evaluator is Toastmaster Winkler. Toastmaster Winkler, I invite you to the virtual stage for the evaluation.
Thank you. How many of you here have actually been reflecting on your niche audience? Since I started my Toastmasters leadership speak journey, my audience has shifted, and I have been thinking how that shift has been narrowing down or broadening. Today, in line with our theme of pushing boundaries, Toastmaster Asif is challenging us to not just push our boundaries out, but to push them deeper, to go further in to the detail, to that one slice of the pizza that is yours. And what I think Toastmaster Asif did really well today, I think you have a very strong presence, strong in the gestures, strong in your voice, in your appearance. However, I felt, Toastmaster Asif, I felt that you were a little stuck in that corner. The corner did not help me to feel the broadening of your presence. Your goal was to help us gain awareness of meaning, benefits, and approach to developing a niche. I have learned that the audience always needs a step-by-step guide. I did feel that the speech was a little bit dispersed in terms of the step-by-step, which would have made it easier for me to follow, to go onto the journey of how I can actually develop my niche. So with that said, I would like to challenge you to narrow down, to give us a personal example, one example, for us to see the limitlessness of pushing our boundaries, not just in terms of its width, but also in terms of its depth. What am I saying? I'm saying that the message was, how can we become a market expert? We gain knowledge, we develop the message for a very specific audience, and then we come to Toastmasters so that we practice that message to speak to the hearts of our audience. So my challenge to you is, how can you turn that message into a foundational phrase? How can you narrow it down, the entire presentation? How can you give us one example to help us go deeper and deeper into the step-by-step guide on how to develop a niche market? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Winkler. And your comments for the speaker, I'm sure, will be very helpful. You gave him suggestions, you gave him recommendations, and lastly, you explained some things that he could do and incorporate in his speech. So thank you very much. Fellow Toastmasters, before we go to our workshop speaker, I'd like to have the evaluation for Speaker Brahm. And Speaker Brahm was evaluated by Toastmaster Hannah. I invite Toastmaster Hannah to the virtual stage for the evaluation.
Madam General Evaluator, Toastmasters and Brahm. One good turn deserves another. Most definitely a very appropriate thing here, which a theme here for us to push our boundaries limitlessly. And you have pushed your boundaries limitlessly. And so diligently, as you mentioned yourself. Yes, keep the wheels of that bus turning and turning around. Don't let them stop in your journey. Otherwise, it comes to a dead end. You repeated your title of a few times in your speech. which reminded me of the importance of your speech. One good turn deserves another. Thank you for that. Your vocal variety, with pauses and pace, conveyed your emotions and dedication to believe in your journey regarding all the gathered clubs you want to put into, or all the gathered clubs that you want to put under your Uganda's hat. I wish you all the luck with that. Your body language was a bit the body language was the other hand on that requested in the purpose. That was the second one, the vocal variety and the hand gestures. Here I found some room for improvement, where it was your hand gestures were a bit monotonous. You could have excited yourself when you were elected, when you achieved your dreams in the Toastmasters, right at first. And thanks for showing us the pictures of your achievement. Good for you. Congratulations on that. You had a great call to action. One good turn deserves another. Reach out to the members, definitely. Baron, you met the objectives of your speech, and I wish you all the success with your gather clubs, and then you can tell us all about how you have achieved them, how you have reached out to them, and one hand deserves another one. Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hannah, for those comments in that evaluation of Bahram's speech. Good body examples of his body language and movement, and good recommendations for his next speech. Good overall good evaluation. Fellow Toastmasters, I'd like to ask you, we had a workshop put on by Toastmaster Deborah Walker. If you would put your comments in the chat box for her as to her workshop on evaluations, any suggestions and recommendations you have to her for that excellent workshop that she presented to us, please post that in the chat box. The times have been put in the chat box for each evaluator, so we know the times for each evaluator. And I will now ask for the poll for the best evaluator for today, please. And as we do that and the poll comes up, I will give you just a few comments on today's meeting. As always, we started right on time. We have moved smoothly through transitions. Compliments to our Toastmaster of the day for adjusting, because we did have a couple of adjustments to be made. She handled those very thoroughly and very seamlessly. The meeting has gone on smoothly and timely thanks to the Toastmaster of the day. It has been my experience and my challenge to be your general evaluator for today. I do hope, fellow Toastmasters, that I did a better job of pronouncing names. I'm still practicing, and please bear with me to any names that I pronounced incorrectly. Please accept my apology. It was from my head and not my heart. And with that, I will relinquish control of the virtual lecture back to our Toastmaster of the day, to Noorul.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vivian, for a very valuable evaluation session. Yes, next item in the agenda is Thought of the Day. Today, Thought of the Day will be presented by Toastmaster Rosie Rana. When I ask about pushing boundaries, she is having this thing to say. I became the first woman MD of a manufacturing company, which is a male-dominated field. I got a doctorate in business administration, finally, at Toastmaster. I pushed boundaries by leading the single-digit number of clubs in Kenya, introducing and pushing the concept into nearby countries. And finally, we established a district covering 5 countries of East Africa. Wow. Rosie Rana, pushing boundaries. Over to you, Rosie Rana, to share your presentation.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Today's theme, pushing boundaries, really takes home the message that the comfort zone could be a nice place to be in, but surely you don't grow there, you stagnate. In fact, there is only one thing that grows in the comfort zone, one's waistline. But that's said and done. How do you push boundaries? How do you attain limitless growth? And for me, in my journey, and as I share my thoughts of the day, pushing boundaries really isn't something that happens overnight. It's a process, it's a journey. And to get limitless growth, it begins perhaps by having a vision. Last meeting, we got very clear, we got clarity on what a vision does. But after the vision, when you set your steps, your action steps towards achieving it, you then consistently take steps. As you do that, you are likely to slip sometimes. If you slip, yeah, it's easy to say, fine, I failed. But look at it critically. Don't even ignore it and start to study it like data and ask yourself, what went wrong there? Because that data will help you prevent future slips. You might again, but each time study. Occasionally, celebrate the milestones. As you do that, when you celebrate the milestones, look back, and then you will realize the boundaries that you push in the process. So, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, pushing boundaries takes time. It's a process, but ultimately, as you achieve growth, you will be pushing boundaries, but you will realize it a lot later, not at the time of the journey, not step by step. So I encourage every one of us, what's your vision? What are the goals you want to achieve? Set the action steps and begin the journey of pushing boundaries. Thank you very much, and back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rosie Rana, for a wonderful thought of the day. What a way to summarize the pushing boundaries at the end of the meeting. Thank you very much again. Yes, dear Toastmasters, we are coming to the end of the session. So today, when I summarize the speakers and the evaluation, the best speaker for today is Hannah Smith, and best evaluator for today is Nikhita Winkler. Congratulations to both of you. Yes, pushing boundaries. We had 5 speakers. Everyone talk about how they felt about the pushing boundaries. All of us, as Rosie Rana rightly shared her knowledge, yes, pushing boundaries is a process. We might not have the results immediately, but we will feel it and we will reflect it in years to come or in days to come. So with that, I would like to hand over the control back to President Asif Saiyed. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Noorul, for steering this meeting on time. We had a couple of adjustments to be done, and we have done it fairly well. Adjusted to, and we have shown a lot of adaptability. That's where we push the boundaries, because we want to step out of our comfort zone. Kudos to Brahm for stepping in on the last minute as a speaker as well. And when we think about pushing boundaries, what comes to our mind? It should be about exploring that untapped potential which we all have. And that which we were pushing ourselves back, not the boundaries, ourselves back because of the fear of that, somebody would judge us. And thankfully, we have this Toastmasters as a platform where we all come in this safe environment and we explore pushing that boundary, pushing ourselves to explore that limitless opportunity that may arise by practicing in a safe environment and getting a feedback. And that's what Toastmasters is all about. So at this platform, especially at Leadership Speak Club, we are encouraging our members to practice a keynote speech. That's every week we have a slot for a 20 minutes education session. That is itself a keynote opportunity to develop yourself. Then this another opportunity which we are bringing in as project, as you saw today, was Global Leadership Challenge for being a keynote speaker. Fabulous, isn't it? That's where you have now another opportunity to push your boundaries as well. Well, I also deliberated on identifying your niche, because that's also where you would like to push your boundaries. One suggestion, quick suggestion would be for our club would be going forward, if you think, well, that you have identified your niche, while you are giving your evaluation document to your evaluator, you may also mention the target audience as well. And so that, when the evaluator tells us what is the intended target audience, we will stick to that shoes and feel that, okay, yeah, this is what the speaker wants to talk about. I mean, that's one suggestion, so you could think about that as well. So kudos to Noorul and Hana for deliberating on this topic. At Leadership Speak, every week we deliberate on a leadership challenge. We try to explore those pros and cons, or what are the challenges in that particular area. And today we did it fabulously well on pushing the boundaries. Thank you, Rosie Rana, also for enlightening us with your thought of the day. And Deborah as well for sharing your knowledge on evaluation. Now with this, our guests, please be online, and we want to address you. We want to understand from you all about your experience for our club. How was the meeting? And for that, I want to invite Toastmaster Brahm. Now, before that, he takes over the podium and addresses you. I will adjourn this meeting. Dear Zoom Master, could you please stop recording? Over to you, Toastmaster Brahm.